Welcome to the live stream tonight. You have come to Susan for SLC Aquatics here on YouTube, your fish fam creator. Hello everybody. Hope that you're having a wonderful Tuesday. Just got through with a little shower and a little storm here, so we hope that you're having a good Tuesday. It's been a while since I've seen you. This is Susan for SLC Aquatics coming to you live from the Fishroom, and I hope that you have been busy with your fish, and hope that some of you have been able to do some summer tubbing and maybe have some new babies in the fish room. Tonight's subject's going to be on how to rehome your stock humanely. We're going to bring up a few other subjects tonight, but I wanted to welcome everyone to the live stream tonight. I want to say hi to Daryl Deemer and Madfish Diva. We got Big Easy in the house. We got Ashes Cichlids, and we got Scott with Fancy Tail Aquatics who just chimed in. Love you. I miss you all. I've been busy. I'm still tired because I didn't get a nap. I started to fall asleep. The phone rang. Then there was other technical stuff going on. So anyway, I'm back here with you. I've been looking around the fish room today. I've been downsizing a little bit. And if you've been following me on Patreon and on the community tab on the YouTube channel, you will also know that I sold my Daddy Angel. I sold my Paradise Fish. I also sold the Ridge Shoulder Severum to a gentleman that I met on Facebook in one of my Facebook groups. I do believe it's Birmingham Aquarium Club here in Birmingham, Alabama. His name is Mike, and he was very nice. Matter of fact, he gave me more than what I was asking. So, you know, God is good. We got Susie Q chiming in. We got Jess Shrimp Granny coming in. We have, let's see, what's everybody saying? Hi, all. Working on editing videos as we speak, Scott says. And Jess, everybody else saying, hey. Char said she'll be right back. Someone at the door. Ooh, who could it be? Oh. Susie Q says, Deemer. Susie Q, I didn't get to finish watching your video, but the emergency in your fish room at 5:30 in the morning is quite alarming for all of us. And if we live long enough and keep fish long enough, we too will experience some of that. So my hat's off to you. Of course, Lord bless you and keep you is my prayer, and I will get back to finish watching that video. And some of you are not posting video content on a regular basis, but I'm still getting the notifications. Almost daily I get like 138 emails, so I know that you're either going live, or you've uploaded some video, or you've commented, or you have what is the word that they say? Reacted. Oh boy. Scott says, hey, hi Big, Daryl, Susie, Mad, and anyone else I missed. I have to catch up on Q as well. Yeah, we got to catch up on everybody. I hope Scott is growing his business at Fancy Tail Aquatics. I hope that Susie Q is enjoying her ponds and her outside pond tubs and turtles. And how many of you have gotten any frogs show up at your ponds? I don't have any frogs yet. I think being close to a water source keeps them from coming up to my pond. Jess said, I just made my first real video today and I'm so excited. Okay, did you upload it yet? Because I don't think I got a notification. Yes, Scott says hit that like button, everyone. I wanted to ask, am I sounding okay? I see shadows and stuff today. I only have one camera working. I took the other camera to the church. We're testing some new equipment out. I have a camcorder, but I don't have a video capture device to plug it in to the laptop. So, okay, so the notification is out, Daryl says. Just one frog, okay. That's cool. I think Bob Kaler has had a lot of tadpoles in his ponds. And let's see, who else had some frogs show up? Can't remember. I just uploaded it. I even made a thumbnail. So proud of you, Jess. I will be checking it out, sweetheart. Yep, tonight we're going to talk about rehoming our stock, selling it. If you sell it, it's still considered rehoming because it's leaving your home, going to someone else's home. So, Scott, I would like some input on, maybe we'll do another Google collab. I didn't go Google tonight. I'm going solo. We'll do another collab on how you package your fish. How many fish do you put in a bag? Depending on, of course, the order. Jess says the video looks great. Thanks. Starting my summer ponds next week, Scott said. All right. And I can see you, and I can see tanks. All right, great. I can spin the laptop around. I can show you the 25 behind me here. And I did lose my gold gourami. I'm sad about that because he was so pretty. He was so docile. He was so easygoing. And I think he just lived his life out. And this is my self-cloning crayfish tank right here. It's a 10-gallon. I really do need to upsize them because I tried separating the juvenile girls out and I lost all but one due to the water changes, temperature changes. I think I overfed them, and anyway, my fault. Can't wait, Scott says, as I seem to be a little of an expert on packing fish. As I seem to be a little of an expert on packing fish. Well, all right, Scott. I would love some pointers. I'm hoping you're hearing me okay. My mic needs to come in a little bit. I can turn it up if you need some more volume. Let's see. I think that's loud enough for me. Behind me here is the 29-gallon that has my mutt guppies, my oops guppies from last summer that I'm calling the yellow tiger mosaics. And that's really not a true identification of them because their caudal fins are so large, like delta tails, and like Char and I said, they look like Spanish dancing ladies. Very beautiful black lacy caudal fins. The F2 generation has produced some of the same males and two fluorescent green males. I have one of the mint green, not fluorescent, but mint green males out in the summer tub on the porch. And the other one is in here, and he's got some mint green and some pastel going on in his caudal fin. Oh, that's sad. We all lose fish, though. The important thing is that you learn from it, yes. And sometimes, Jess, there's nothing to learn. Sometimes a fish lives its life out, and we don't know why. Because I didn't know how old the fish was when I acquired it. So, but thank you for your comforting words. You love that crypt. So many people love that crypt. It has done so well. Thank you. It has done so well in this tank since I washed the substrate out. This is Eco Complete substrate, and I really washed this substrate out. And I washed this tank down months ago with vinegar water, and really gave it a good clean over because it had green water and algae, and it was just so out of balance, even with plants in it. My fish, I dubbed it my tank of death due to so many fish loss. But after the reset up, I haven't lost too many fish. I still continue to lose snails. I don't know why I'm losing snails. Um, I can't keep mystery snails. Mystery snails die. But they are very prolific. They are reproducing. There are so many fry in this tank right now. I don't know um, what second and third generation, but I will be watching the young males. The young males, as they're maturing, are having what I call a flame tail. So I think that's the F3, F2, F3. Yeah, F3 generation. I do have one little red male that must be the son of this one. I'm down in stock right here because I sold some guppies to Mike that bought the fish out of my 55, and I also have set up another 10-gallon tank over here. I lost all of the blue, half blue black Moscows. I lost all of them, and I did a water change, and I did some quick start, and I forget what else I did. We got spoiled fish in the house. Hey, spoiled fish, welcome. And but anyway, I put a breeding trio over there, and I added some crushed coral to the tank, and boom, she had some fry. So it's behind me. I'm going to have to move out of the way. It's this tank right here. It has a breeding trio in it of the yellow tiger mosaics, and she's already got fry in there. That's a beautiful sword in the corner that I got from Ken Elias, Corona Ken. Cherry is not doing too well. The red crown tail, is it crown tail tail? Yeah, the red crown tail betta is having organ failure, so I'm thinking about turning the pump off, the main filter pump off. It still has an air stone in it, and putting the heater vertical or horizontal, horizontal in the tank, and lowering the water level so that he doesn't have to swim so hard. D's in the house. Hey D, down the wormhole. Everybody show love for love. We got Chewy LTD in the house. Just pop on by, as the song goes. Scott says, try adding crushed oyster shells to harden the water. I have not lost a mystery snail after that. Yeah, the issue that I had, Scott, was in my 55. I was lowering the pH for the angels by adding catappa leaves. So I have just my grand angel left. So I won't be lowering the pH over there and the making it soft water. So I can add some crushed coral over there, and I think I'm going to add some crushed coral to the 29, and that should improve. But certain tanks are doing really well with ram's horn snails. But anyway, this is my new little baby that's been upstairs. He's a red and pink crown tail betta, and he's in his own 5-gallon. Good evening, JJLB. Good to have you in the house. Hope you're having a good Tuesday. Don't forget to hit that like button, everybody. Click like and share. Share on Twitter, on Twitch, on Instagram, on Facebook, in Facebook groups, legally, not illegally. And but when we sell our stock, that's rehoming them. And then there's sometimes the term rehoming means to actually just give away a free fish, or sometimes there's a rehoming fee that we can charge. Thanks, Jess. And over here, I don't know if you can see it or not, but this is Rosebud. He's just sitting up in the hornswort and duckweed right now. That's where he rests. He has a leaf in there, but he doesn't sit on that very often. So that is to my left. Let me spin the laptop around so you can see the 55. That's the 29 again. Here's the 55. Pretty empty. Sorry about the camera. But we got the Grand Angel right in the middle, right about in here. And we have two corridoras down in the bottom that I'm watching because of their mouths. And it's black sand, and I don't understand why they would be having any barbell problems. We got Oddball Aquatics in the house. Mwah. Couldn't figure out how to post the notification. Underneath of the screen there is a share, but a word that says share and an arrow. Click on that, copy the link. You'll have to leave me and go over to Facebook, but Daryl's probably already put me over there in the notification squad. But thank you for trying, Jess. Thank you, Daryl, for sharing my Patreon link. The Patreon account is still paying for my website. I have 2 more payments on my website. And then I will be determining whether or not I'm going to keep my Patreon account. I probably will until I get to the point where I qualify for members, or people start, paying, giving me love gifts to PayPal. And you can still be a $1 a month subscriber on Patreon, or there is a tier 2 for those that are serious about supporting Susan for SLC Aquatics, and that is $5 or higher. Doesn't have any special benefits, but for the first month that your pledge clears, you do receive some special SLC Aquatics merch. Jess says, I just got a new phone and everything is different. I understand. Oh, learning these new phones, learning every time a software updates. Hey, Rod.
Annyeonghaseyo, fish people.
Mr. SLC Aquatics poking his head in here for a minute. And that was Korean, if anybody didn't know. Oddball says, and I got to get back to work. Just wanted to say hey and love you. Thank you, Haley. Love you too. Anything happening with the calendar? Scott says hi. And but this is the 55, pretty empty. I did a poll on YouTube, and if y'all haven't found the community tab yet, go to the community tab, scroll down, there's all kinds of polls. I did do a video on water changes, but there's a couple other polls that I want to do some videos on. My time is still limited. Next week we go through a 3-day revival, so I'll be busy for that. Let's see. Josh is still going back and forth to the doctor. His foot is slowly healing, but it's far from being healed. Um, the doctor's really trying to save his foot and leg from not being amputated. Thank God the infection is out of his bloodstream and out of his bones. And he's still not taking very good care of himself, but Mom just has to back off because he's an adult. And then over here is my 20-gallon that has my half moon mosaics in it, and they are very prolific. I got those from Carlos, the fish nerd, and they're going on 2 years now. I've taken several batches to my LFS, and it's time to thin them out again and take him a bunch of males. I'm sure he'll be glad to see some come in. And this is my main Corridora breeding tank. They really spawn well. The one up front behind the massive snails, she's about 3.5, almost 4 inches long. That is the mother of everybody. And of course that's Henry, the yo-yo loach behind her. They really hang out together. Hey Henry. Got him from CJ Black. Hadn't seen her in a while. Have y'all? Let's see. My water changes depends on the color of the water and how it smells. All prayers. Thanks, Scott. Yeah, a lot of times in breeding tanks, there's controversy with water changes. When you first starting up your tanks, please do your weekly 10 to 20% water changes to help with the cycling, to help your tank get established. Once you put fish in and start feeding them, you want to do partial gravel vacs and along with your 10 and 20% water changes. And after your tanks become established, and you'll know that by doing your water testing to make sure that there's no ammonia, no nitrites. You want to make sure that you do have at least 20 ppm of nitrates. And if you start with plastic plants, that's going to pretty much, stay stable. And but once you get into using live plants, wow, the live plants just keeps things cycled so much easier. Char says, I'm back. Hi, all. Dee says, hey, Diva. Scott says, I've learned over the years how to do it. But yes, do many changes a week as a beginner. Jess says, I'm about to do some water testing and changes in a few minutes. All right. I'm glad to have Madfish Diva here with us tonight. And Char, I wished I had created this in Google Hangouts where you could have come on and helped fill people in. I've written to DPK Aquatics. I can't even remember its channel name. DPK Aquariums or something like that. And everybody on Facebook knows him as Carlos, and he has done a lot of our logos. I know he did mine like 3 times. I did pay him the last time that I asked him to do some changes. And you can pretty much tell the signature of Carlos when he does a logo. And everybody has their own touch as an artist. He has lots of other art on Facebook as well. And it's not fish related, but it is like Pam at 54 Punchy. They have different styles of art that is extraordinary. And Char contacted me this morning asking me about maybe doing a GoFundMe account for Carlos due to the fact that him and his family were in a serious car accident several months back. And I don't think any of them have been able to work, and I do believe that their vehicle's down and they're in need. Excuse me. Rod's cooking something in the kitchen and smoking the house up. But anyway, she was concerned about maybe the fish fam, could do a GoFundMe account to help support him. And Char, I've been praying about it. I've been thinking about it today. And I don't want anyone to get jealous when we do a GoFundMe account, like we did one for Pam at 54 Punchy when she was out of work, and to help her pay some bills. And I am thinking about doing a hashtag fish fam, kind of like a charitable fund that will collect throughout the year. And I want to assign an assistant that can also help dole out funds when the needs arise, because we're such a large community. When, like, she heard about his situation and I hadn't heard any updates from him in a while, and we'll talk to different people, so we reach different ones, just like the last hurricanes that went through Panama City. Our fish community member, Kayla, that had the twins, they've been struggling because their community is still not being rebuilt, and a lot of insurance companies have done so much and then just dropped them, and they don't have the means, to actually pick themselves back up. But I know that in Kayla's situation, her husband is working, I do believe. So, with food stamps and some assistance, they're doing well. I believe she's got family. She's staying with family still. Hey, Donald. So we still need some input, and I'm willing to help. Hey, Dwayne Kitchell. Wow, caught a live stream at last. Yeah, and here I am talking about GoFundMe accounts instead of fish. You missed my Fishroom tour a few minutes ago, so maybe you can rewind and catch some of that. My 55's almost empty, and I know according to you, you want me to put a pair of Jack Dempsey's in there. And I don't know what I'm going to do yet. I'm not going to jump real fast. I'm going to introduce things that I want. That 55 came with fish already in it, and they weren't my choices, even though they were beautiful fish that gave me different learning experiences, because I've never had angelfish, I'd never had a common pleco, I'd never had paradise fish and gouramis and things like that. So it was a great learning experience. All of my gouramis have passed on, and I sold my my female angel passed on, and I sold the male because he was spawning with his granddaughter, and she has a deformity, so I don't want to breed her. Scott says Panama City downtown and Mexico City are still bad. Yeah, they are, Scott, and Kayla keeps me posted on all of that too. Ooh, now you're talking. Thanks, Dwayne. Yeah, a lot of people could do $1 a month. That's right, Jess. And that's why I was thinking about setting up a separate checking account, or I'm gonna talk to PayPal to see how it would probably have to be on my credentials, but set up a separate PayPal account just for hashtag FishFam funds. And as people are in need as it builds up. Me have another officer that will help maintain it, and I'm asking Madfish Diva to jump on the wagon with that to be the second agent. And I know that Rob at Natural Aquariums, um, Racing's Natural Aquariums, or whatever his new channel name is now, DeFreeze Aquariums, um, he would probably be willing to help monitor that, and we will have a checks and balance system so that PayPal keeps excellent records. I know there's more funds that come out, more fees that come out in a GoFundMe account anymore. And I've also looked into justgiving.com, and I haven't looked at their fees and stuff. So I thought about us as a Fish Fam community. You got to help promote it. You got to help spread the word. I'm not going to pay for marketing. That would defeat the purpose of trying to get the funds to be available to those who go through hardships. And it could be health. It could be losing your job. It could mean a natural disaster. It could be anything. It could be mental illness, that they're going through and can't get their puzzle pieces together right now. So, I just want to be able to help everyone without jealousy. Because if you're jealous, I just want you to take a few moments, pause and think about it, and then come back and jump back on the bandwagon with us, and remembering that we are a giving community. We are a encouraging community, and we are here for one another. And when we hear about somebody needing something, we should be able to respond. And we want to rejoice with Caleb and Candy Overhauls and Stacy Overhauls, because Caleb rang the bell the other day over his leukemia cancer treatments for 3.5 long years, has his port taken out, and bless his heart, he probably feels so free right now. He doesn't know how to act, but I'm hoping that they are having a great, great moment, and that everything continues to go well for him. Dwayne and I live close by, and I need to visit him. I'll help maintain it too. Thanks, Jess. And Madfish Diva said, sure, I would love to assist. I'm really just putting the thought out right now, and everybody knows my email account, score48@yahoo.com, and I don't want to mix. See, the last time I did a GoFundMe account, it went into the GoFundMe account, it was withdrawn into my PayPal account, and any time that I needed to make a transition, no, didn't go to my PayPal, it went to my checking account. Then I had to redeposit it into the PayPal account in order to disperse the funds, because I didn't want to disperse them from my checking account. So I'll be checking into PayPal how we can set up a fund, and I may have to go through justgiving.com after I look at its fees, and another place, that we can set this up, because I think it would be beneficial. And if anything happened to any of us, like if I had to drop off Char, Madfish Diva, she would be the next agent that she could reassign a second assistant. So where both of our names would be on checks or money orders or PayPal accounts, blah, blah, blah. We would be partners together. And I know GoFundMe allows you to set up a team that will actually help coordinate that as well. But GoFundMe account takes so many a high percent out of the money that you raise. Crystal's Pet and Plants. Hey Crystals, how you doing? Well, if they're jealous, they should have to feel that hardship before they get mad about money. Yes, Granny, Jess Granny, we don't understand why people get their feelings hurt, and we can't reach everybody. We can't move mountains. But the thing of it is, uh, if they're getting their local government assistance in food stamps and things, then sometimes we can just give them a little something that will help them maybe pay a light bill or pay a phone bill. I know a phone's a luxury still, but yet it's still important to be able to communicate with job forces and family members. So, I don't I'm not as critical about a phone bill as some people are, as some organizations are. Yes, you have to have food and water, you have to have electricity and heat and air under certain circumstances. But today, uh, at least having a cell phone where you can reach out to answer employers' calls and family members' calls. Yes, saw the pic on Facebook and I cried. Yeah, I did too. They were happy tears, Char. Um, that's why I asked you. I knew you would have a solution. Well, this is not a solution, but this is an idea. And we're a big community. I reached out to YouTube Creator Insiders today, and I let them know I did a video because they're going to VidCon, and they're going to be answering questions, and I did a video. I don't know if they're going to use my video in the question that I asked, but I reached out to them and I let them know that the hashtag FishFam community on YouTube was as large as millions, okay? In order for um, Joey to have 1 million viewers and um, Jenny to have hundreds of thousands and Corey to have hundreds and thousands, you know that we're almost 1 million in membership. And so we should be making a big dent in the YouTube community worldwide. And I know this would be USA funds right now. We can't reach out internationally because I don't have the knowledge. I don't have the legal knowledge. If there is a Fish Fam community who is kind of like a legal advisor or a financial advisor, please email me at score48@yahoo.com so that we can set something like this up the right way. I don't want any repercussions for my personal finances, nor do I want you to have any repercussions with the IRS. And so, anyway, I want to do it right. So back to fish. Thank you all for that time, for listening to me bend your ear on that. And if you have any other ideas on how we can help DPK, reach out to him in a messenger on Instagram. He's DPK Aquariums, I think, isn't it, Char? Y'all help me out. Daryl Deemer, if y'all can find the link to DPK's channel. His YouTube channel is not doing anything on YouTube. If you could find his Instagram account, and he's pretty private on Facebook, even though he's under his personal name on Facebook. Yes, phone and internet are essential, especially if you're trying to find a job. Yeah, everywhere does online applications anymore, and that's true. Jess says, I do not know how to do it, but I'll help. Thank you, Jess. We will be reaching out to you. You can reach me on Facebook, Jess, and send me a private message. I'm Susan Core. Or you can go to my page, SLC Aquatics, and send me a message there, and I'll get your private message that way, and we can exchange email accounts. And anytime that Madfish Diva and I communicate, and if I get a hold of Rob defreeze, and he wants to participate, we will have, everybody will be on the same page together. Thank you, Char. I'm going to give you some mod powers there. And now you're a mod, Char. So as far as rehoming your fish humanely, it does pay to get to know the person a little bit. It's still business if you're selling stock. It's still business. You don't want to get into their personal business, but you want to ask them general questions like, are you a fish keeper? How long have you kept fish? What kind of fish have you kept? What kind of aquariums? You want to be a little general right there. You might want to even ask them, do they test their water? Where do they buy their stock normally? Questions like that. And you're wonderful. And you don't want to act like you're interviewing them, but even ask Sergeant Tank or Corey, or well, Corey doesn't ship fish, but people like King Lee, who ships fish, and Rob at Flip Aquatics, who ships shrimp and fish, and things like that. There is a little interview process there. So the man who came and bought the fish from me out of the 55, we kind of interviewed each other in private messenger, and he thought he was going to have to work that weekend, blah blah blah. He's kept fish for a long time, and he has large tanks. He has 150 gallon, 175 gallon, 120 gallon. So he has large tanks that he maintains with sumps and canister filters. Thank you, Daryl, for finding his Instagram. If you all will click on that link and go there and just send him some love. Don't get into his business. Don't ask personal questions. Just go tell him that you're thinking of him and you're wishing him well, okay? I've already sent him private messages today asking him to get back with me, to give me any kind of updates on his family. And of course, Madfish Diva, if you can share with me in a private message what you have found out recently, I would appreciate that. Jess says, I will say if you can't find anyone, Petco will usually accept rescue fish if they can. Not all Petcos are created equal, though. And that's true. Petco is a franchise, so each franchise has its own policies that they follow. But the best deal is to find you a local fish store, kind of like a mom and pop's type fish store that will usually take fish for store credit, or they will rescue, and sometimes they'll take a sick fish and treat it for you. And sometimes they'll do whole house calls, like Diego at Pet Sonics. He does house calls. He cleans aquariums and takes care of people's aquariums. Excuse me. I haven't talked this much in a long time. I've been through so much the last 6 weeks. First going to visit mom the first part of May. Then, before then was ripping and running with Joshua in the hospital for 12 days. Back and forth, surgeon appointments, infectious disease, and that's been running me wild in the middle of still doing my jobs at work and at home. We had some issues here at the house that I won't go into details, but it required a lot of manual labor to take care of the situation, and I do believe we've got it at hand, and I can relax and sleep a little bit better. Um, Jess says that's how I got my first coolie loaches and spotted Raphael catfish. All right, but I don't work there anymore. Okay, that's cool. Scott says some have been straight up front. I want your snails, cull guppies to feed my other fish, and well, that is tough for me. Yeah, it is. But if they're going to pay for it and you're not going to breed them, it's all part of the hobby. It's part of the hobby. And especially like with Scott, who is trying to actually live off of his business. Sometimes you cannot be, uh, you can't, well, I mean, feeder fish, feeder fish is humane. It's part of the life cycle. So, I just bought feeder goldfish, not to feed to any fish. Matter of fact, the workers at the pet store said, "Oh, these are so cute." There was one that was colored very uniquely and everything, and she said, "Oh, we were hoping somebody would buy them that wouldn't feed them to some fish. We wanted to see them grow up and stuff." And I told them, I said, "Nope, not gonna feed them. Even though they're feeder goldfish, I'm gonna just put them in my pond and raise them up in my pond." And they were so elated. But the thing of it is, business is business. Sometimes in your personal home, if you're not trying to have a business, it's still a hobby. You want to share your fish with other people. You can be selective as to, no, I don't want my fish to be feeder fish. I want you to enjoy them in your aquarium and let them breed naturally. I mean, those are your choices. But in a business, sometimes you have to allow that call in order to still make a profit. But yeah, morally and personally, it can be a hard decision. I hope I'm not rubbing my microphone the whole time. I don't need these anymore. I need them to when I was checking my audio. But anyway, um, humanely is you want a little bit of education where they're going. And you take care of your fish, you want the next home to also take care of them. Madfish Diva says, still have you all in prayer, Susan, and take care of yourself. Yeah, I am trying to take care of myself. And believe me, if it were not for the prayer of the believer, I know I would probably be in the hospital right now. But because people are praying for me, I know I can feel those prayers. I can feel the strength. I can feel, you know, the I can feel the renewal on the inside of me, and it's hard to explain, but you just got to experience it. Everybody has to eat, Jess says. Yes. And I'm not a vegetarian. I know. Um, but humanely, you don't want to just, you do not want to release any fish into the wild. You don't even want to release your plants into the water source. And sometimes that's difficult during water changes. Those micro seeds from duckweed goes through the water source, finds places to cling. But the one thing about duckweed, it will not grow in fast moving waters. Okay? So, matter of fact, I'm having a problem with my 40-gallon tub outside because I've got too much wave action on the surface going on. And so my duckweed's not growing as fast as I would like it to grow because my goldfish eat it up in 24 hours. Madfish Diva Grace. Yes, I'm well familiar with Grace and Mercy. Thank you so much. Love you. You don't want to release them. And when it comes time that you have a sick fish, you have to make a responsible decision on how to euthanize it or just like right now, Cherry's organs are failing, and he really does. He's suffering a little bit. So I'm in the next day or two gonna have to, like I said, I'm gonna try lowering the water and keeping the heat going for him. And I want to put a little Epsom salts into the water to help with some of the fluid retention that he's having. And I want to try to relieve his symptoms a little bit for the whatever life he's got left. And no, I do not want to euthanize him, but if I have to, I will. Jess says it's tough to cull. On the other hand, if I had fish that weren't going to live a full life, I'd be okay with someone feeding them or using them as feeder fish. Yeah, and as long as they're not diseased, you know, and if it's a breakdown of their body, just like our bodies break down sometimes, um, you do not want to give diseased fish as feeder fish. That's not being responsible, and it's really not good etiquette. And thinking of putting in hang on backs for a week or two to get rid of the duckweed. Good luck, because all it does is clog up my hang on the back filters. The only thing to get rid of duckweed is netting it out. You know, netting it out. Scott says, I use clove oil for the bad ones to end the suffering. I do too. And it really works. And I have, I know there's controversy with this, but I've also used the freezer method because their body does shut down as the temperature is just like cold temperatures outside. If I don't put a heater in that pond, which I had to put a heater in that pond last week because we went down into the 50s, my fish is going to die. It's going to shut down and it's going to cease to exist because its organs will no longer function in those cold temperatures. So some people disagree with me, and that's okay to disagree. There's different ways. Big fish, people who keep big fish, like I can't think of any now. Red devils and Oscars and stuff like that. You know, sometimes you have to club them. You know, I don't know if I could do that. But there's different ways to euthanize that is really, there's no suffering. But if you don't do it right, there can be suffering. Madfish Diva said, me too, Jess. I got rid of 2 pounds in my 55 this week. So putting a hang on the back filter helped you all get rid of duckweed? Because it doesn't work in my systems. Will a pre-filter stop it from clogging up the HOB? No, because it actually clings to the pre-filter and clogs it up faster. I'm old school, Dwayne says. I just pop them in the freezer. Thanks, Dwayne. Angelo's in the house. Hey, Angelo's Fish Tanks. Hi, everybody. Hello, Angelo. How are you doing? And so humanely taking care of things, being a responsible hobbyist, interviewing the new home owner slightly, and never go against, I'm trying to think of the right words, your convictions. Follow your convictions. And sometimes when you need money, sometimes you'll release something a lot quicker to get the money that may be against your convictions. So, you know, weigh them out, make the best decision that you can, and by all means, you know, don't beat yourself up too much if you should make a bad decision. Just move on, learn from it, and just keep going. Just keep swimming, Just keep swimming. Everybody's doing good, Angelo. How are you doing and the family? Bob Kaler's Aquatics is in the house. Hello, Susan and all. Hey, Bob. We were talking about you earlier about tadpoles and frogs in your ponds. Susie Q said she's found one, and I haven't had any so far in mine, mainly because I'm by a creek and they're in the creek, and they haven't made it up to the porch. And I was wondering, should I go get some tadpoles and put them in the porch? I don't think so. I'll let nature find it, and if nature finds it, fine. Because my squirrels and my chipmunks come and drink water out of the pond. I'm thinking about setting up a goldfish tank just to have a duckweed eater on hand. A good duckweed eater is goldfish. They love goldfish. Anybody else? Duckweed. Anybody else know a fish that eats duckweed? I bet cichlids would, even though duckweed grew pretty heavy in my 55 with angelfish and that the red severum, shoulder severum that I had. Madfish Diva saying hi, Bob. Hashtag OG Squad. Kaler says they're good algae eaters, but they eat the fish food too. Yep. Jess, your message has been held for review because you asked for someone to watch your video, and YouTube doesn't like you to ask us to go to your channel. It is a subliminal and it is a subconscious thing that we do, Jess. We don't ask people to watch their video. But you did say critique it. So we tell everyone, Jess, to show love for love. And that means for everyone to check out everybody's channel, subscribe, watch some videos if you have videos up, and support each other that way. We say love for love. Bob says already watched it, and Bob says severums, yes, eat duckweed. Angelo's fish tank said cichlids eat anything. Oh, Scott says hi to Bob. Jess says mystery snails will eat duckweed. Okay. I know my ram's horns do too. Angelo's fish tank says I dump some in my show tanks and they eat it all. LOL. So we've talked about rehoming our stock humanely. We've talked about the hashtag FishFam community maybe creating a financial fund that will go, like, everybody can support it $1 a month or whatever amount that you want to put into it. It could be a one-time gift. And Madfish Diva and Jess and I are going to work on that, and I'm going to contact Rob DeFries to see if he wants to participate. And I've asked and petitioned the Fish Fam community if there's any legal advisors or financial advisors that are in the community that would contact me at score48@yahoo.com so that we can get this off the ground. And it will just be an ongoing fund builder that when someone is in need to help pay a bill or transition them during a job change or something, or if they have a great loss in their their fish room burns up, God forbid, and insurance doesn't cover it all, we can send them a love gift and just be who we are in the Fish Fam community. Madfish Diva says, I've been dumping it in my angel tanks where the intake is deep in the tank. Jess says, I'm just so excited, of course. Fancy Tales Aquatics says, don't worry, Jess. Just ask for feedback on your videos like I do several times a year, and you'll get it. Dan Slee's in the house. Hey, Dan. How you, Susan and all? Glad I caught the tail end. Yep, Dan, I'm glad to see you come on in. Hopefully some people will review it and rewind it and see all of the material that we covered tonight. And we look forward to things progressing. I apologize. I will not be with you next Tuesday night because we will be in revival at the church. And I guess it'll be 2 weeks before I see you guys. It'll be after the 4th of July. So happy Independence Day to the U.S. people who will be celebrating our 4th of July Independence Day. And I wish you all well. I'll be catching you on your live streams and I'll be watching your content. So this is Susan for SLC Aquatics signing off for tonight. I love you. God bless you. And I'll see you real soon.